I did promise you that I'd bring you into M2 Studios, and here we are, and we're in the control room, and this is where the magic happens at M2 Studios. Obviously, the studio was known as MadHat, and of course, fabulous studio. I've been here working with these guys for many years, and I'd like to introduce you to them. This is Mark V. Stewart.
Hello.
Hello. Mark is front of house engineer for Magnum, and he's been many years in sound engineering for live concerts, live shows, and as well as 10-15 years you've been in audio. And this young lady sitting next door to me, very attractive young lady, her name is Sheena Sear.
Hello.
And she is the magic behind Pro Tools and of course many other things. And the reason why we're sitting here chatting is obviously because musicians get up on stage and they perform these amazing shows and concerts and things, but behind the scenes are engineers, sound technicians, experts in their fields who are able to create the media that goes out to the public, who actually hear the finished songs. And Mark and Sheena, you guys are the guys that actually do that. And in fact, we've been here today for the last 10 hours putting together some tracks, which I'm very grateful for what you've done, because you've done some amazing work. And from nothing comes something that's really magical, and thanks very much for that.
Yeah. Sheena does most of the donkey work.
Yes, Sheena's amazing.
Sure. I'm good at making tea now.
But you've got
quite a good team here, I think.
From my experience of working with you guys, because you're really a production team.
Yes.
That run a studio.
Yes.
Yes, you're not a studio that has a production team in it. You live and breathe the studio. This studio is about Mark and Sheena, really.
Yes.
And it's very evident, when with our work in the past 2 days, it's like you guys kind of have this sixth mental telepathy going on between the two of you.
That does happen on a lot of occasions. Actually, I can think about something and I can turn around, and Sheena's actually doing what I'm thinking, and that does actually happen quite a lot of times. Yes, it was too loud. It's all right. That happens all the time. It's quite a knack, really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, MadHat Studios started in Wolverhampton many years ago.
Yeah, it was the original one was nearly 30 years ago.
Right.
And it started off as a sort of 4-track, and then went to 16, and then went to 24-track, and was going for about 10 years, and then it stopped, and then I restarted it again in Warsaw, which is about 15 years ago, and then moved to where we are now about 9 years ago. Sheena, was it 9 years or was it 10 years now?
I wasn't here.
You've been here.
I've been here 9. I
9 years.
Now.
We lose track of time. We're getting old gracefully. And and here out in the countryside, it's wonderful, really, because got no trouble with neighbours or anything like that, and it's a nice place to be. And if you're working here and you just want to nip out the door and have a little walk down the road, it's great.
Yeah. It's very picturesque. It's lovely, beautiful countryside.
And then it's a nice environment here, but you can go and play PlayStation games or Xbox games.
Excellent.
Downstairs if you want to.
Yeah.
Leave us to do all the donkey work. We dot all the I's and cross all the T's. Really.
You do that indeed. No doubt. I mean, I stayed at Novotel. Obviously, I'm from Winchester, and I've driven 2 hours, whatever, 100 and something miles, to come and work with Mark and Sheena because I'm familiar with them and I know how good their work is. So that's the reason why I came here. I mean, there are lots of other studios to go to, but the thing is, once you feel at home in an environment, you want to stick with that environment, because I know the way you guys work. We've worked together on many occasions.
It's one thing that we try to do here is we try to make people feel at home.
Yes.
And there's been quite a few times when people have finished recording here and said, this has been great because, you make us feel welcome.
Yeah, I do.
It's not a daunting task, and the thing we try to do is, you know, we try to make it easy on the musicians now.
Yeah.
Because the process now of recording, there's a lot more emphasis on the engineers, more so than the musician.
Right. Yes.
And so you know, we can make life a lot easier. Drummers who are scared of playing to click tracks, for example.
Yes.
It's a doddle, really.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a big bop going on in your ear. There's a little bit more than that. Make it a bit more comfortable.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know, everyone relaxes now. It's good. Technology has helped a lot.
Something like, yeah. But you guys have stayed abreast with the technology. I mean, when I first met you, it was 2001.
Yeah,
I just arrived from South Africa.
That's right.
I was at your door at 8 o'clock in the morning. I didn't realise that people start work in England at sort of 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I thought, you know, carrying the stuff out the door, going to my missus, come on, we're going to be late. Because in SA, things start at 8.
That's right.
And of course I phoned Mark and he was still in the shower. I'll be there in a second. But that was 10 years ago now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it, yeah.
And there was a 2-inch tape machine in the corner in those days, and so I don't know if no, you just started working with
working on Logic.
Logic in those days, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember you coming in with all this material. We just basically just started it around.
It was all MIDI, and we had a whole lot of, and we synced to a sampler. And stuff. It's all changed now, isn't it?
Well, the touch machine's gone now.
That's gone. Yeah.
It's a drawer with lots of cables and leads in there. I've got another one next door. If anyone wants to buy a 2-inch, I've got another one for sale. Just trying to shift because it's in the way.
Yeah.
But no, it's and then it went to digital tape with Tuscany A88s and the like, and then we got rid of those and went totally Logic, and then now we're a Pro Tools HD based studio. Up there with the big boys, really.
Absolutely, yes. And I mean, Sheena, how long have you been working with Pro Tools? I mean, from the day I first met you, you were on Pro Tools, so that was probably 8 years ago?
Yeah, and 8 years ago I've been here, and 3 years at uni, so over a decade now.
Yeah. 10 years of Pro Tools. Have you seen big changes in Pro Tools?
Yeah. Massive changes.
Massive changes, But it's like second nature to you. You know, you're just watching 2 screens and zip in between this and that.
You just have to not think about it most of the time.
I mean, they're very good at multitasking.
Yes.
That's one thing they're very good at, actually.
Yeah.
And Sheena keeps up to date with all the improvements.
Every time there's an update, you guys get the update.
It just changes all
the time. Yeah.
But I do find that if somebody asks me, like, what keyboard shortcut do you use for that, I'm like, I don't actually know. My fingers know where they are. I don't know.
It used to be like that with me when I used to have to lace a tape machine. So how do you lace a tape machine? Well, hang on a minute, I'll just do it.
Do it. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
Watch and learn.
Yes. Yeah.
Copy me. But yeah, it is. It's weird. You do things automatically, you know. And I mean, I must admit, I let Sheena do a lot more tasks than me because she's so fast. So the client is getting the benefit of that.
Yes, I mean, well, we
double up on jobs, you know,
all the time.
When we have a session in, if we have a band in, we'll record the drums on the tracks, and then Sheena will go downstairs into our other room and edit drums. And while she's editing drums, I can start doing bass and guitars with the band. So we sort of double up jobs. And then once she's done all the drums, she'll come back up. We'll both work together like that, you know.
I wondered where you disappeared to during some sessions we've had. Yeah, and Sheena just disappears and you don't see her for half an hour, and then.
But then, strangely, the drums all get a lot better.
And all of a sudden, the drums are right.
The drums are really good.
They're all in time now. Amazing.
And some people don't even really notice.
No, they don't.
I didn't play it like that. There you go.
Yeah.
No, so we like to dot the I's and cross the T's for all the clients.
Yes. Yeah.
And even down to guitar, into tuning stuff as well. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that guitar solo, couple of notes slightly out of tune. I don't worry about it. We'll fix it. You fix it.
Yeah, you can fix it.
Doesn't take very long to
No. But what I've always been impressed with is you guys, your ear is so tuned to every little thing that's going on in the production. You know, even today I haven't been in the studio for a long time. You forget how to listen to the music. You just forget how to listen, and I'm trying to figure out what it is that you've been listening for when you've been playing, and only, you know, second day, you know, 20 hours later, am I starting to catch on? So that's what you're listening for.
There really is an art to listening.
There is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't, you know, you as an engineer or a producer, you can't just listen. Well, you do have to listen to the overall thing.
Yes.
But sometimes you're just listening for how things work with one another, with another sound, with another sound.
Yes.
And you're listening for that, and you're listening into the track a little bit more than just listening to what's coming out the speakers.
Yes.
Definitely is an art to listening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's something that you probably learn with experience. It can't be taught, can it? You know,
it can be
can it?
Yeah. I mean, you have to have a natural knack for it,
I
but
think so.
most of it comes from experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have believed 10 years ago that I could ever have done it
No.
the way that I do now, but you just
It just
you
happens.
get there.
Yeah.
You get there in the end.
Yeah.
As long as you've got a bit of an ability for it.
I
then-
think so,
then you
yeah.
can
Yeah.
do it.
Well, you've got fantastic ear, really. I mean, a much better ear than me. Because the other thing that Sheena can do, not other than engineer and produce and work on Pro Tools, is she can work out string arrangements
Okay.
and vocal arrangements like harmonies and stuff like
Yes.
that as well.
Yeah.
And so if you want a string arrangement doing, again, sometimes it's go downstairs and sit with the keyboard and work it out, and then come back up here and then carry on from there, really. But
Right.
no, that's something that we've
So
done.
you
and
can
there's a
play
few
keyboard
stuff.
player as
I
well?
don't know. I don't really play keyboards. I just use it as an arranging
as a tool, yeah?
Because when you using the samples like we do, you get more feel for how it's putting together if you actually play it. Even
okay.
though I'm terrible at playing keyboards,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's still better to do it than just program it, because otherwise it's all very regimented and you can't get a feel for how it will come together in real life. So,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
On the
Wow.
last Magnum album,
That's two Magnum.
that's too well. Specifically on the last one, there's 2 tracks on the last one, isn't there?
No, one track on the last one, one track on the previous one.
I thought it was 2 of them.
Oh no, that's just an outro bit.
It's an
Wasn't
yeah.
proper.
Well, I mean, all the string arrangements were worked out. Sheena worked them out, and also basically produced the string arrangement, because that was all done with another client of ours who has a lot of violins and violas and cellos, and comes in and just plays one at a time. So we don't actually have to have a section in. He just comes in, plays one string part, then basically tracks it up, and then does the next string part, and then the goes on to the viola and cellos and stuff.
Cool.
You put them all together, and you've got
And you've got your
effectively a
mix.
string section.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And it works brilliantly.
Brilliantly.
That's really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Done it with a few clients,
Yeah.
other clients now, other than Magnum. It's been about 2 or 3 other bands have done that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good couple there,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Talking about clients, guitarists in particular.
Guitarists, yes.
Yes, Simon Lee's been here
Yes,
through
yeah.
many times.
Bucky,
Yes.
as he used to be called,
Yes.
apparently.
And of course, guitarist from Magnum,
Yeah, Tony. Yeah,
Tony
Clarkin, yeah.
Tony Clark. Yeah, he's done work here, and you've had big names in here: Al Atkins, Diamond Head,
Yes.
Brian Tatler. They've all
Yes,
done
yes.
stuff here.
Yes, Brian and Diamond had recorded an album here, actually before Sheena was on the scene down here, which got shelved due to read about it in his book.
Yes, he's got a book.
It's all in the
It's
book.
in the book. Yes.
It's all in the book, and it makes quite interesting reading.
Yeah.
Brian is I think Brian is a tasty guitar player.
I really do like
Yeah.
his style. Yes.
He's he's in the riff merchants, you know, with your Jimmy Pages and your
Yes.
that sort of people. He's great. Tony Clarkin, I think, is a very, very underrated guitarist.
Yes.
He's very clever, really, and he's not really known for being a guitarist, more as a songwriter for Magnum, and he just plays guitar in the band.
Yes.
But Sheena will back me up here. He's a very good guitarist,
Oh
really, isn't he?
yeah.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we've had a few good guitarists. I mean, and bass players for that matter. I mean,
Yes.
Lawrence Archer, from, done a little bit of work with him in the
Oh
past.
yes, UFO.
Bass players, our favourite bass player, Jim Lee from Slade, who I think is a phenomenally good bass player.
Yes.
But of course he doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
Certainly doesn't do any live stuff now, but does a bit of recording with us.
Yeah.
You know, I've done an album with him. Sheena's done an album with him.
Mm-hmm.
So he still records, but don't really see him, you know.
As much.
But there have been some good guitarists around that we've worked with.
Yeah.
You know, you.
God bless you, mate. Thank you very much.
Listen to some of the stuff that you've done today. I think, oh, yeah. It's showing off. We get some good players in there, you know, and some up and coming ones.
Yeah, youngsters as well.
Keep an eye out for.
There's something else I wanted to talk to you about. Talking about up and coming ones. Do I have the poster? I do indeed. M2 Studios are sponsoring the Robin 2 Live Band of the Year competition 2011. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, I've always like up and coming new bands. So prior to this, we were sponsoring the Wolverhampton bands of the bands, which I've sponsored for probably on and off for the last 10 years or so. But the Wolverhampton Civic has stopped doing that now. So I had a word with Mike Hamlet at the Robin, and he's up for me sponsoring his competition. So they have a heat every Monday, and then the winner of the heats, they have a monthly winner, which then goes on to a quarter-final, final, and it's just a way of, you know, looking out for some new up-and-coming talent.
Yeah.
We'll produce a couple of songs for the winners.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not a case of a band coming in the studio and just dropping down 2 tracks. We'll actually produce it as well.
Yeah, produce it as well. Yeah.
And because the thing that some young bands trap that they fall into is they go into a studio and try and record something live, and it comes out
diabolical. Iffy. Yeah.
No disrespect to the studios that like to record like bands, because I love recording live, really, if I can. But it's nice to be able to have the control of a studio, and being able to, you know, really hone things,
fine tune them, get them nice, and
get the guitar parts right, bass part right with the drums. The bass player's playing the right notes to what the guitarist's playing chords, and the solos are playing in the right key, and
and the guitars are in tune.
And the singers' melodies working with whatever the guitarist or the keyboard player's doing, and then when they're working out the harmonies, they're not singing wrong harmonies that aren't even in the key, or even in the chord that they're playing behind. So we know it's nice to be able to do that.
Yes.
And then when you see that band live after they've been in the studio, it's always those songs that you've recorded that really stand out live because they know them inside out. So going into a studio is not necessarily just a place to go and record something and hopefully come up with a product that they can sell. It makes the band more apparent about what they're playing and what they've got to do as part of the musical thing, really.
I agree with that.
So it really helps them.
Yeah, it does.
You know.
Always find
So
that.
it's a good experience.
Yes.
You know. Go and record your live demo, great. Bring that in here and we'll have a listen to it, and we know the sort of direction that you're aiming for. We will do a little bit more than just press a button that says record and then play it back. Goes that okay? We'll do a little bit more. Oh, you played that a little bit out of time. Check the tuning on your guitar. Are you playing the right chord there? Is the bass playing the right note? We'll do all that. That's what we're here.
That's probably the most important part of the recording process. Besides actually playing the right notes, it's getting the final product the way you want it. Yeah.
And of course, getting the right sounds as well.
Yes. Oh, that's a skill that you guys have. That nobody can replace. You know, I've often spoken to many musicians who say, well, I record it myself in my home studio. I've heard those famous words, and I've yet to hear something come out of a home studio that's anywhere near as good as the products that guys like you produce in a proper professional studio.
That's what we're here for. Well, we've heard stuff coming from home studios. It's been okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
But there's, you know, some of the times there's been technical issue that
Yeah.
we've said to them, well, you're doing this, and we shouldn't really be doing that. Well, why don't you try this
Yeah.
instead of doing
Yeah.
that?
But to me, it's like the X factor of productions. There's an X factor that you guys have that no musician has, because you're in the business. You do it day in, day out. You've got the right gear. You know, you know how to do it. You know, guitarists should stay guitarists. They should just play the guitar and let the engineers get on with doing the sound.
Tell you a few things when the camera's off.
That's my honest opinion. You know, I really don't. I don't. You know, I can play the bits. I can put it together. I know more or less what I want, but that's where I draw the line. Because after that, it's up to you. Because you know what the gear can do. I have no clue. I haven't got. You know.
Yeah, but bands can get a little bit into themselves too much, and when you go to a studio, sometimes it's good that they can have an outside influence and think about what it's like from the punter, the audience's point of view, rather than what they're hearing on stage and what they get into in the rehearsal room. But then somebody says, "Oh, that doesn't really work when you do that, play that part going into that. Why don't we try doing this, go into the G's, the B or something?"
Yeah,
you know, those sort of things work. Well, maybe that melody, change the melody a little bit, the vocal, make it a little bit more, lilty or whatever.
Yeah. That's the magic.
So melodies, a little bit the last thing that a band right nowadays.
Yeah.
Really, it should be one of the most. Well, it is the most important.
Yeah. Well, good luck with the competition.
Thank you.
I hope it comes off. And I see one of the prizes here is a professional video shoot.
Yes.
So by all means, if the winner's up there, we're happy to take that video and show the world on Guitarist TV. If that's
fantastic.
We can add that to the list of things, and we'll certainly interview the band. Like to interview the band, actually.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
We could do that. We could certainly contact you when we know they're coming in to do their recording.
Yes, and we'll come and film them.
And you can incorporate it and say, okay guys, we've got to find an hour tomorrow so you can have an interview.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Fantastic, thanks Mike.
It's been lovely working with you guys today. It's for the weekend actually. Long may we carry on. Sure, all the best.
See you again in a week or so just to polish it all off for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Brilliant.
Cool.
Good.
There we go. MadHat Studios, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers. Brilliant.